Okay, so you all know pretty much what you're in for with this. I've made my trepidations about what's coming very clear on multiple occasions. You're pretty much just showing up here to watch the ranting power hour with PerspectiveEnd. But before I get into this, I want to head something off at the pass. As every time I talk about Rise of the Beasts, people in the comments section always go, Perspective, you big dumb idiot. Don't you know that the Bumblebee movie was intended to be a reboot? Why don't you jump off a roof and break your coccyx? No, the Bumblebee movie was not intended to be a reboot. After having been filmed and cut together as a prequel to the regular Bayverse movies, it then had scenes added due to a push by director Travis Knight, so that way it could be treated as a reboot if Hasbro committed to it being one in subsequent films. Now, Hasbro claims that it was in fact a reboot, but until such time as the new movies come out and do stuff like have Megatron awaken walking around in the 90s, have Jazz walking around after 2007, have a movie set in 2007 that actually contradicts the events of the first film, the Bumblebee movie only exists in a limbo state where it could potentially be a reboot if Hasbro commits to it. So, I don't want to hear that this is a new timeline. I don't want to hear that this isn't the Bayverse, because we quite frankly don't actually know that yet. The only thing backing up that notion is statements from Hasbro, and Hasbro can claim that the Bumblebee movie was a reboot, they sure can make that claim, but they have lied to us many times before. So I'll believe it when I see it. Anyways, now that rant 1 out of probably an eventual 30 or something like that is out of the way, I can talk about the actual content of this trailer that only lasts like 20 seconds and gives us almost no new information. This trailer tagline being "What drives the hero in you" is so cringy. That is the most corporate buzzword commercial bullshit I think I've ever heard. Okay, so am I the only one confused as to why the variations on the original trailer played so coy with Mirage's face? Like, every last one of them subsequently showed off like one singular more frame of it each time. They basically left us with a virtually complete picture of what he was going to look like, but it just cut the second we could be sure that we were seeing the finalized look. Like, why were they trying to make this a mystery? It's not like he looks like any character we've seen in the movies before, and it's not like he looks like the character that he's named after. Hell, he doesn't specifically look like anyone from G1. So why do this? Were they just trying to hide the fact that they somehow managed to make a robot with a punchable face? I don't even know how they did that. He's made of metal. My fists should not feel like they want to connect with his face as bad as they do.
Relax, I'm Mirage, remember?
And oh great, not only does he have Jazz's alt mode, but they're clearly trying to give him Jazz's personality as well. And get ready for rant number 2 already, because this has been my frustration from the beginning. This is not just not Mirage. This is not just not Jazz. It's also not Hound, who is yet another reason why this is totally trying to be in the regular Bayverse, because if they made him Hound, it would conflict with the Bay films, so they just have to leave him out altogether. But with this one character, they have denied us seeing 3 of the characters we love, and I'm so sick of all the disingenuous arguments about these movies like, oh, you just don't like things that are new. I don't have anything to prove on that front. I'm the guy who was offended that Earthrise came after Siege because I didn't want to go back to regular G1. But the simple fact of the matter is I don't come to the Transformers for Transformers. A Transformers movie could have 0 transformations in it for all I care. Because I'm not here for the jingling keys of explosions, robots, and stuff doing the thing on screen. I'm here for the characters that I love. I'm here because I want to see them. And they can be different, I can accept a new interpretation of them, but they should at least resemble themselves. It shouldn't be some other dude with the same name. I don't give a shit about this other dude with the same name. I'm not impressed just because he exists. And you may be like, well, it's not for people like you, it's for new people. And my only question for that is, why not? Why is it not for both of us? It's not like if you saw a movie with the characters that made me and many others fall in love with this franchise that it would somehow destroy your experience. Instead, what's happening is you're getting something new when what would have made me happy would have made you happy as well, and I'm getting denied the thing that I'm coming for in the first place. If Transformers isn't getting made for fans of the Transformers, then why is it getting made? Why don't they just make something completely new that is meant for an entirely new audience? Or just not call it the Transformers like J. Decker did? But instead, I just don't get to see what I've dreamt of since childhood because fuck me, what I like is stupid, according to Michael Bay, who is obviously the one ghost directing this film. So you may ask, what would have made me happy? Well, for starters, I'd have liked to not see 3 of my favorite characters get mashed into one, so we get none of them instead. Make this Jazz, make this Hound, or make this actually Mirage. And if you're going to hit me with that disingenuous argument number 2, that Mirage wouldn't have made sense because he's a Formula 1 car, so how's that a disguise? Have you ever heard of this really cool new thing called writing around your problems? You could have it be that Mirage accidentally scanned a Formula 1 car because there was a race in town at the time and he didn't know better, and he doesn't get why it's a bad disguise. Or you could just go with an actual canonical explanation that certain Cybertronians have specific types of alt modes that are immutable. He can't turn into a regular car to be more stealthy. This is what he is. Have a problem with it? Talk to my manufacturer. And this is where the argument actually starts down that disingenuous path. Because if you have a problem with Mirage being a Formula 1 car, an actual type of vehicle, then you surely have a problem with movie Ratchet, right? You know, the guy who turned into a bright yellow Hummer mountain rescue vehicle that didn't actually exist and was only made up for the movie to get a shitty Hummer sponsorship? Yeah, I can't say that I've ever seen a vehicle that doesn't exist anywhere, but you know what I have seen in Walmart parking lots sitting there because there was an exhibition, or the driver was doing like an autograph signing, or they were doing things like pay X amount of money to sit in this thing that you'll never get a chance to normally, all of which would be usable disguises, and if you really want to give him the hologram powers, would have actually really fed into that, as he could have made a holo driver sitting there with a sandwich board with "come and take a ride" written on it. Formula One cars and dragsters. I actually routinely see dragsters sitting at the local Walmart to the point where I don't even bat an eye at them anymore. So the long and short of it is, your argument for why he shouldn't be a Formula One car is bad and you should feel bad. And the simple fact of the matter is that we could both be happy. And I'm happy that you're happy. But I'm also angry that I'm getting fucked. Anyways, back to the trailer. It is really frustrating to just see the exact same shots we already got over again with even less context. Really? You're wasting like the 20 seconds of actual visuals in this trailer on crap that we already saw? Man, what the hell did they do? Optimus's face looks like a lighting error now. I actually took this ugly shot of his face and moved his mouth up in it, added a bit of shadow to the side of his nose to imply it's standing further up off his face, and initially I didn't love what I was seeing when I was finished, but I have to admit, this has at least grown on me. I still don't think Optimus should ever have a face, but this is far less awful than Optimus with a mouth on the bottom of his chin. It's so weird the way it is. You can literally cover up the apex of his jaw, and it just looks like he's already wearing his faceplate, because they just can't be bothered to put a mouth where a mouth actually goes. People are saying that they redesigned this to look a bit more like Peter Cullen's face, and I can see that. But at the same time, I think my edit looks even more like him.
Nah.
The nah and screaming is such a Bay thing, and it pisses me off. Like, I don't know how anyone can look at these trailers and be like, I don't see Bay's fingerprints all over this. Oh, lovely. Great to see the logo of the damn movie get hoarded out into an advertisement for a car company. Real classy. Here's an idea. Why don't we stop with this actual manufacturer's bullshit and just make up a bunch of fake cars for it? It'd feel way less skeevy that way and be more like the actual toys. So ultimately, this trailer wasn't worth waiting for. All it did was show off Mirage's face, show off some somehow worse CGI on Optimus's face, and further confirm that yes, Mirage will be a horrible amalgamation of 3 characters who we will now be denied seeing any real version of. And then you have the Mirage toy that was announced along with this trailer, and it's just Jazz. Jazz in some absolutely fabulous stiletto heels. But it just does away with all the pretext, and it makes him Jazz to the point where I have to wonder if it was always going to be Jazz. But then they realized that for some reason they hired that actor that no one likes to play him, and that maybe they'd get called out on casting a white dude as Jazz, so they just left everything the same but changed his name and appearance. I hope the movie is good. I hope that I am so full of shit right now, that I'm just being a giant negative Nancy who gets utterly proven wrong about everything I've been saying for months. But I don't think I will be. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.